All right, good morning. This is your Thursday morning weekly briefing, valid today through next Wednesday, March the 9th. There's a cold front over south central Virginia this morning. It's moving through the Richmond area as we speak. Temperatures behind that front are pretty chilly, just in the 40s and 50s around DC, ranging through the 50s in northern Virginia. And out ahead of that front, we're soaring well into the 70s now throughout central North Carolina. In fact, it looks like we're pushing 80 degrees at a few sites over at Tarboro and down toward Laurinburg, Maxton, down in the southern part of the state. These observations were valid at 10:30 a.m., but we've warmed on average about 5 to 8 degrees relative to that time. So we're trending up for highs today in the upper 70s and lower to middle 80s, including some near record warmth down around Fayetteville. That cold front is going to be relatively slow to move southward. There is a prefrontal trough preceding that cold front over the Piedmont and foothills of North Carolina. And we do have a little bit of wind gusts out there, along with those warm temperatures, resulting in low relative humidity values. And with that, we have an increased risk for fire danger today, with low humidity values generally between about 15 and 25%. And those winds generally 10 to 15 miles per hour, with some gusts around 20 miles per hour on average. The highest gust so far this morning we've seen is about 26 miles an hour out at Greensboro. And I think that will be the continued case today, with the highest gusts back toward Winston-Salem and Greensboro, and then maybe over toward Raleigh, kind of in the vicinity of that prefrontal trough over the Piedmont and foothills. That cold front backing up is going to take its time moving south. Probably not going to make a whole lot of additional progress during the day today through Virginia. In fact, we're most likely going to have to wait for the flow to turn more northeasterly off some of the cooler waters off the Atlantic and the Chesapeake Bay to finally shove that front through here overnight tonight. So probably getting into the northern coastal plain over toward Roanoke Rapids sometime around maybe 8 o'clock this evening, and then probably not through the Triangle until late evening around midnight, and then down into our southern Piedmont counties, probably not until the overnight hours, early morning hours on Friday. But we will see some of that cool air finally get in here late tonight into Friday morning, with low temperatures down in the 30s and 40s, closer to where we should be relative to the 70s and 80s that we're going to experience today. So the upcoming pattern here, again, this first image is valid for actually this evening, but I think that cold front timing is going to be a little bit quick. It's not going to be that far south by this evening. Again, it's probably most likely going to be up around Roanoke Rapids. So I think that cold frontal placement is probably going to be more representative by, let's say, tomorrow morning as opposed to this evening. And then behind that front, we get an area of high pressure, relatively strong, built across the middle Atlantic region that extends down into North Carolina for tomorrow and tomorrow night. And that will keep us cooler. We'll have highs tomorrow generally in the 50s to 60s, so about where we should be for this time of year. And then lows again tomorrow night in the 30s and 40s, also about where we should be for this time of year. But then as that high shifts offshore, it moves off toward Bermuda. And as it does so, the flow around that will be a southerly flow and a warming one out ahead of our next frontal system, the next cold front approaching for later next week. So once we get into that return flow regime around the Bermuda high, temperatures will return to well above normal levels, probably 20 to 25 degrees above normal, well into the 70s and 80s again. The warmest 2 days look like they'll be Sunday and Monday, although we should be in the 60s, upper 60s to 70s, even on Saturday. So Saturday will be sort of the transition day between the cooler Friday, closer to average temperatures, and then the well above average temperatures, and mainly dry for Sunday and Monday. And then that next cold front is scheduled to come through sometime late Monday night into early Tuesday. Given the time range, the timing of that may adjust a little bit faster, a little bit slower, but our best to guess at this time is that front arrives sometime Monday night into early Tuesday. With that, it looks like showers will accompany that front, We don't really see any signals for heavy rain or severe weather at this time. Right now, the forecast is for about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain with the showers along the front. But there will be a little bit of at least weak instability accompanying the front. So thunder can't be completely ruled out. But again, at this time, we're not expecting any severe weather with that. And then behind that front for the middle of next week, a renewed area of high pressure builds overhead, and that should knock temperatures back down toward more seasonable levels ahead of the next wave of low pressure likely to develop down over the western Gulf of Mexico that may spread some rain back in here just beyond our forecast period by the end of next week. But right now it looks like just a cooler and dry middle part of next week. Again, no severe risk, really not much of any risk of precipitation for that matter for the next few days. There may be some isolated to widely scattered showers, generally along and east of I-95 on Saturday, but we're not expecting any thunder and certainly no severe weather with that. And again, we'll keep an eye on the severe risk with that front, the cold front, Monday night into Tuesday, but even that at this time doesn't look too strong at this point. This is the accumulated precipitation forecast through the forecast period. Again, mostly dry today through tomorrow night. You see a little blip of green there around Fayetteville along and east of I-95 for Saturday. That should not amount to a whole lot, but there could be an isolated to, again, widely scattered shower east of I-95, mostly Saturday. And then otherwise dry Sunday and Sunday night ahead of that next cold front that approaches late Monday, more so Monday night into early Tuesday, and that should exit the area sometime by Tuesday afternoon. So Tuesday may be wet early in the day, but most likely trending drier and cooler behind that front. And then, of course, that sets us up for the dry and more seasonable temperatures for next Wednesday. This is the 7-day accumulated precipitation, so we're not expecting anything heavy. At this time, generally 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain. The latest drought outlook, and the update rather, from the drought monitor. The western part of the state over the mountains, including into some of our Piedmont counties, had welcome rain last week, and as a result, that removed some of the previously abnormally dry conditions. But unfortunately, on the other side of the state, down toward the coast and the southern coastal plain, moderate drought conditions have expanded just slightly there over the southeastern part of the state, and that's where things have been getting a little bit drier. And as a result, the abnormally dry to even moderate drought has been introduced and expanded a bit along our common border with our neighboring offices to the east on the coast at Morehead City and Wilmington. The longer-term outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, the 8 to 14-day outlook, is one of above normal temperatures along the South Atlantic coast. And again, that's from March 10th through the 16th. And for above normal precipitation, so that would include that late week system that we're anticipating potentially making for a wet end of the week next week and beyond through the early part of the following week. In summary, once again, increased fire danger today with those very warm and dry conditions. And then once that cold front gets a little push from the northeasterly flow off the cooler waters off of Virginia, that front should surge southwestward across our forecast area tonight and set us up for more seasonable conditions by tomorrow morning and those continuing through Saturday morning. And then we start to warm back up through the weekend. The warmest days appear to be Sunday and Monday. You can see that in the graphic here for the Raleigh forecast area forecast, a high near 80 Sunday and in the low 80s for Monday. So trending back to well above normal ahead of that next cold front, and a pretty good chance of showers along that, and then clearing out and cooling off for the middle of next week ahead of the potential for the wet weather again later next week. And that's all we have for you for today. If you have any questions, please send those along.